Today on Healthful Indian Flavors with Alumelu, Alumelu will prepare an aromatic saucy dish called Brussels sprouts kulambu and roasted potatoes seasoned with spices. She will also show you how to select proper spices for use in the kitchen. All coming up next.
Namaste, greetings. I'm glad you can join me today. Today we will cook 3 absolutely delicious dishes that go particularly well with rice. We will prepare turkey podi mas, which is ground turkey with split peas and coconut, Brussels sprouts kulambu, a high fiber saucy dish, and seasoned roasted potatoes, a versatile pan roasted potato dish. First, we will do the turkey podi mas, which is turkey with split peas and coconut. Let us first cook the split peas. Split peas are available in small packages in regular grocery stores. They are high in fiber and protein. What we are going to do is, I have some water boiling, so I'm just going to let that cook. And it takes about 15 to 20 minutes to cook the split peas. When it is cooked, this is how it's going to look. Turkey is a lean and healthful meat. Let me go get the turkey from the refrigerator, okay? Here we have the turkey. Doesn't this look good? We will use ground turkey and prepare an innovative dish called turkey podi mas. In South India, the same dish is prepared with lamb. I prefer to use turkey because it's more healthful. When I cook turkey, I always serve this as a side dish that complements a meal of rice, vegetables and legumes. Here we are going to enhance the turkey with onions, garlic and a little bit of chilies and garnish it with coconut. Before I start cooking, let me tell you how I assembled my spice plate. Okay, we have the spices all set up over there in a bottle. So I just took whatever that's needed for cooking. I have half a teaspoon turmeric powder, 1 bay leaf, 2 to 4 slivers of cinnamon stick, and then I have 1 teaspoon cumin seeds, half a teaspoon fennel seeds, and then I have 2 teaspoons curry powder, half a teaspoon cayenne powder, half a teaspoon cumin powder, 1 teaspoon salt, and a 1/4 cup of unsweetened coconut powder. So let's start the cooking. First, we need to keep our pan nice and hot. When the pan is, we can use any kind of skillet, even iron skillet will work very well for this dish. So I'm just going to add like about 2 to 3 teaspoons of oil, canola. Canola is a great cooking medium oil, and I want this oil to get hot but not smoking. So we are going to add 1 bay leaf. Already I told you what all I have. It still have to get hot. So we'll wait for it to get really hot. There. Then I will add the cinnamon stick, and I'm going to add the cumin seeds. All the seeds needs to be roasted well, okay? But the powders we add later. Then I'm adding the fennel seed. Do you know that cumin seed and fennel seed are antioxidant and it is a digestive spice? See how it's getting brown? When it gets brown, then I'm going to get my chopped onions, and I'm going to put the chopped onions here. Doesn't that smell good? You should smell this aroma. It's really great. Cumin and fennel and bay leaf and cinnamon stick, they go so well together, okay? And then I'm going to add my garlic, okay? This is an amazing dish. When I was growing up in India, oftentimes this particular dish is made with lamb meat. and it is so delicious. And here I decided to go buy the lamb meat, but it was too, when I was cooking, it was giving out too much fat, and I did not like that. Then I had to drain that extra fat and all that. So I decided to go with the lean turkey, and that's what I have here. And we'll put that away. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to brown this turkey very nicely. And while this is also browning, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some turmeric. Turmeric is an antioxidant, okay? It's antioxidant, and it is also more and more research is pointing out that turmeric is anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and it also reduces the risk of Alzheimer's disease. If you are interested in looking more about turmeric, you got to go look in the internet. You will be totally amazed at the wonderful health benefits of the turmeric. So we are adding turmeric for its color, and then I'm going to add all my rest of my other spices, and all the powders we can add one on top of another. When you add all the spices, you know, you don't even need salt. If you are told not to eat too much salt, this is a great way, because all the spices compensate for the salt. I think as a society, we consume too much salt, sugar, and fat. So if the doctor have told you not to use salt, just use the spices. You'll be really happy. You won't miss the salt. Now I'm going to add my favorite chilies. I just chopped the chilies like this, and it enhances the taste. Actually, don't be scared of the chilies. It really has a lot of great health benefits. Do you know that chilies have capsaicin? That is a compound that is found in chilies, and they are known to prevent pain. It's also anti-inflammatory, and it's also antioxidant, and it has great benefits. And when you are in Wisconsin cold weather, you need to add that kick to your dish. That way you become satisfied. If the food is bland, you start consuming more. Now, look at the yellow split peas. It's still cooking, but here is the one that's cooked, and people think it's corn. It's really not corn. It is yellow split peas. The turkey itself has high protein in it, but when you add the split peas to it, it is really wholesome, and it's beautiful, and it's very nice. See how beautiful this is? And that is the bay leaf, okay? The bay leaf is added for the taste. But once when you're ready to serve this dish, you may want to remove the bay leaf before serving, okay? So it's okay, it's all done. So I'm just going to take it out, and see how beautiful it is. Isn't that pretty? And see, you can use this as a side dish, or you could make a wonderful turkey wrap with 100% whole wheat tortillas and have this for lunch, and you would love it. We are in the Indian grocery store, Sri Gayatri Foods in Brookfield, Wisconsin. We are here to shop for rice, spices, and lentils. Most of the spices are available in the regular grocery stores, but there are few that you may need to come to the Indian grocery store. It's like one-stop shop. We are done picking up all the spices that is needed for our cooking. Here you see asafoetida. It is a resin-like substance. It adds flavor to the rice dish and vegetable dish. So we are going to take asafoetida. Then we are going to take some mustard seeds. Mustard seeds comes in 3 varieties, but for our purpose we are going to take the black mustard seeds. When you combine mustard seeds with urad, it makes the dish very appealing and tasteful. So we'll take some mustard seeds. Then we are also going to take some black pepper. Black pepper is known as the king of all spices. When you combine the black pepper with cumin seeds, it is a wonderful blend and it makes the dish taste so good. It's also a great salt substitute. And then we also want some fennel seeds. Fennel seed is a digestive spice, and you will see in the Indian restaurant that on your way after dinner, in a bowl, fennel seeds combined with sugar-coated candies. It is a digestive spice to cleanse your palate. Then we also, the most amazing spice is the turmeric. Turmeric is known as the Indian gold, okay? I have to show you, this is turmeric in its powder form. Also in its raw form, turmeric is like a ginger, okay? And they take the ginger, like the turmeric, and they dry this out and then they powder it. It is an antioxidant, it prevents Alzheimer's, and it is also anti-inflammatory, okay? So we need turmeric. Then we also need some spice powders. Spice powders like chutney powder, sambar powder, and rasam powder. And these are all different combination of spices that is already roasted and powdered, and it's a quality powders that is readily available for our use. So we are going to take all these powders with us, and we will go into the kitchen and we'll make a wonderful, aromatic, flavorful, healthful food. Shall we? Now we are going to prepare Brussels sprouts kulambu. This is a favorite dish of mine. This is a saucy vegetable dish cooked with onions, tomatoes, and simmered in tamarind sauce with spices. Brussels sprouts is a cruciferous vegetable. It is available throughout the year. Brussels sprouts grow in bunches of 15 to 20 on the stem of a plant. Brussels sprouts are loaded with vitamin A, C, K, dietary fiber, potassium, and iron. They have only 60 calories per cup. Can you believe that? Brussels sprouts are known to detoxify cancer-causing chemicals, excellent for healthy skin. They are also known to be good for cardiovascular and digestive health. When you pick Brussels sprouts, make sure they are firm and green in color. It must be fresh like this and not wilted. If Brussels sprouts are sold loosely, pick all of them the same size so they will cook evenly, okay? And before we cook, what we want to do is we want to remove any discolored leaves, okay? But I picked them today and it's really fresh. It's not wilted, so I'm just going to use it. It's already washed, and so now I am going to cut the Brussels sprouts. If they are big, you can, of course, we want to make sure they are firm vegetable, and if they are big, cut them in quarters. If they are small, just make a slit on the top like this and leave it. But this is quite big, so I'm just going to cut this in half, okay? Just like that. You want to cut the stem, which I did already, and then just cut that in half, okay? See, we are not going to steam or boil the vegetable. We are just going to cook it in its natural form. So there you have it. We have about a cup, 1.5 cups of fresh Brussels sprouts. Now for cooking, let's see what we need to have. We need 2 tablespoons canola oil, which I will be using. And here I have assembled my spices. Let's see what I have here. I have 1/4 teaspoon of asafoetida powder, 1/4 teaspoon fenugreek seeds, 1 teaspoon black mustard seeds, 1 teaspoon urad dal, 1/4 teaspoon turmeric powder, an amazing spice powder that we'll talk about it. And then I have 2 teaspoons sambar powder, and I have about a cup of tomato sauce and 1 teaspoon salt and 1/4 teaspoon tamarind paste. And here we have 1½ cups of Brussels sprouts, and I have 1/2 cup chopped onions and 1/2 cup chopped tomato. So shall we cook now? What I'm going to do is I have a nice stainless steel pan here, and it's wider so the Brussels sprouts can be spread out nicely. So before cooking, I'm just going to add, I'm going to eyeball about 2 tablespoons of canola oil. Okay, and I'm going to be, this is an important technique for you to remember, because when the oil is hot but not smoking, what we need to do is we need to add the asafoetida and then the fenugreek seeds. Then I'm going to add, see how the spices sizzle, and then I'm going to add the urad dal. And now I'm going to add my tomatoes, onions. I'm going to simmer this, and then I'm going to add my tomatoes. See, when it is a dry spice, you want to make them sizzle in a hot oil so they release their aroma and the flavor, okay? Now I'm going to add the turmeric powder. I wonder how many of you use turmeric powder in your cooking. Turmeric powder is known as an antioxidant and an anti-inflammatory, and it's also, many research are suggesting that it reduces the risk of Alzheimer's disease. So when I have sauteed the onions and tomatoes, I'm going to put the Brussels sprouts in here. Doesn't that smell good? Oh my goodness, when I do this technique of sizzling the spices, adding the onions and tomatoes, the whole house smells so good. And no matter where my family is, they keep running down to the kitchen asking me, "Mom, what are you preparing? It smells so good, I'm getting hungry." So we kind of just sauteed the vegetable, and I'm going to add some sambar powder. Sambar powder is a combination of many spices. It's readily available in the regular Indian grocery store. But do you know, in India, people do make their own sambar powder. But when I see quality item, I just go for the ready-made mix. And then I'm going to add the tomato sauce, and we need to add some tamarind paste. Tamarind is known as the Indian date, okay? And it comes in a fruit form, or it's like a paste. So I'm just going to add some tamarind and then salt. You know, we are told to cut down on salt. When you add all the spices like this, you don't even need salt. But now I'm going to add salt because I want to make it nice and cooked. So I'm going to add, this is so thick, so I want to make it like a saucy dish. So I'm going to add some water, and we are going to cover and let this simmer. Okay. All right. Let me close this so it will cook in its own steam with the water. While this Brussels sprouts is cooking, I just want to quickly talk about the spices, and I want to show you what I added here. This is called the asafoetida. It is an amazing spice. During Roman times, it was used as a healing ointment, and this powder gives an amazing taste to vegetable dishes, and it comes like in a powder form. And then the tamarind comes in a paste form like this. See the bottle here? So tamarind sauce is like tamarind is actually like an Indian date, okay? And then we have all the spices assembled here. Once when you have the spices set up and labeled like this, you're just going to use 1/4 teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon for each dish. When you have set up the spices like this, all you need is your fresh vegetables, onions, tomatoes, and see how easy it is. So you can prepare and serve this dish as a side dish or serve it with plain rice. Now we will be preparing our seasoned roasted potatoes. Potatoes are my favorite. Potatoes are probably the most popular vegetable in the world. Potato dishes, no matter how they are cooked, are comfort foods that are easy to enjoy. Using spices, we can make so many potato dishes like potato masala, potato kurma, and potato sambar. Today we will prepare pan-fried potatoes using spices. When potatoes are not deep-fried, they have significant health benefits. They are rich in vitamin C, B6, potassium, and dietary fiber. Did you know that there are about 100 varieties of edible potatoes? They vary in size, shape, color, and starch content and flavor. You need to pick potatoes that are relatively smooth and should be free from decay. They should not be sprouting either. What we have here is we just peeled the potatoes and we have cubed the potatoes like this, okay? And what I did was I added a little bit of turmeric powder and I microwaved it. So once when the potatoes are cooked, you keep it like this, and now you're going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne powder, and 1/2 teaspoon cumin powder, and then we are kind of going to toss it like this, okay? So it's kind of mixed, all the spices together, and if you think it's not mixed properly, of course you can toss it gently like that so that the spices are really covered with potatoes, okay? Now we are ready to cook. So I'm going to add some canola oil, about 3 tablespoons, because I'm going to roast these potatoes, okay? So maybe about 3 tablespoons of potatoes. When the oil is hot but not smoking, I'm going to add our asafoetida powder, and then I'm going to add my potatoes. There we go. And then we just spread the potatoes evenly in the pan and let that roast. And when the potatoes are roasting, sometimes what I do too is just put it in the oven and I bake it. Otherwise, I just do it this way too. If I have time, I just go with this. And so we just toss it, and until it gets nice and crispy, we'll keep it like this. But meanwhile, while it's cooking, I want to talk about the potatoes. In South India, we serve a unique breakfast item called masala dosa. And in masala dosa, we want to have the potatoes inside with the coconut chutney or coriander chutney. And for that too, the potatoes are cooked, and then onions, tomatoes, and garlic is added, and we put that in the masala dosa. And there's so many ways to enjoy the potatoes. We can also cook, just now I cooked Brussels sprouts, so you can even put some Brussels sprouts here and make a wonderful dish with Brussels sprouts and potatoes together. I can see that it's getting brown, so we will still keep going. And once when it is, I'm going to increase the heat. When it's nicely browned, we take it out. Here we have delicious roasted potatoes, and it can be served as a side dish with a meal, or sometimes I make potatoes like this and leave it in the refrigerator. Following morning, I take a pan and warm it up, and when I make my omelette, I serve the seasoned roasted potatoes with my omelette. It's really delicious, and it's a different way of having potatoes in the breakfast. Instead of hash brown, some seasoning, and we have all the digestive spice here. So it'll be really good to have the seasoned potatoes. See how it's browning? And once when it is done to the desired crispiness, then we turn it off. And there you have the seasoned roasted potatoes. Doesn't that look delicious? We have prepared 3 irresistible dishes, and I just cooked the plain rice and garnished with fresh carrots and cashews. You can serve all these dishes with rice or with bread. Seasoned roasted potatoes can also be served with any baked or grilled meats or with the eggs at breakfast. Turkey podimas can be made into turkey wraps for lunch. Brussels sprouts can be served as a side dish with any meal. All these dishes are easy to prepare and not time consuming. Even if you don't have time during weekdays, you can prepare these dishes during the weekend. Refrigerate and serve later. Let me conclude by saying cooking is a skill worth learning. It can be a relaxing experience. Food once prepared and served bring family together. Cooking can be an expression of love, and I hope you enjoy cooking. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. May you all be healthy and happy. Until next time, Vanakkam.
To order a copy of Alomelu's cookbook, including recipes from this series and many more, visit mptv.org and click on the store icon. The cost of the book is $32 plus shipping and handling. For more information on this episode of Healthful Indian Flavors with Alomelu, and to get information on some of the recipes prepared on today's show, log on to our website at mptv.org.